Hello and welcome to the worker practice lesson of class 61XE2 of the National University of Civil Engineering. I am Hai and today we are installing the framework system. There are 3 parts and the first one is preparing. First is about a protective gear. We have a helmet here. It has 2 buckles. Adjust this one to change the width, this one to change the length. Make sure adjust them fit to your head. Now we are at the backyard of ዄXD and preparing the construction site and components. Here are check bases, U-jacks, joint pins, horizontal braces, diagonal braces, primary stringers, and triangle frames. We have to set up components like this every time. Take them from storehouse and storage back to save the space and easier to cut, especially the triangle frames. Here are hammers, secondary stringers, floor panels, working platforms, and fastener. The quantity of every component need to be managed by manager and calculate based on this formula. We will install framework system with the rectangle PAL scaffolding first. We had to pull up 6 scaffoldings, so we divide into 2 parallel lines. Each line has 3 scaffoldings. Each one has 3 floors and 4 check bases. The distance between 2 lines is 1.2 meters. Between 2 scaffoldings is 1.2 meters, and between 2 consecutive check bases in a cluster is 1.2 meters. After pull up the scaffoldings, we'll install 4 primary stringers, 2 lines of secondary stringers. If they are not long enough, 1.6 meters, we can use 2 pieces combined, and floor panels. Part 2 is installing. Step 1. Set up the jack base clusters. Follow the above diagram and use the horizontal brace to determine the 1.2 meter space and make sure the clusters are in line at the diagram. Step 2. Install horizontal braces and diagonal braces. Make sure the sides head bar up. Step 3. Put out the primary stringers next to the jack bases so that we ensure the jack bases are in their line. It will be easier to install the primary stringers after. Step 4. Install the first floor by installing 4 triangle frames to jack bases in each cluster so that the top plate of back frame is on the bar of the front frame. Install the joint pins. Install the diagonal braces. Step 5. Use a level of plastic turf with water inside to make sure every jack base has the same height. Put a turf pin next to the top plate of frame so that the water inside is as high as the plate. Then put the other ones next to the next plate. Wait for them stable and observe if the plate is higher than water. We need to lower it down by turn the adjuster follow clockwise. If the plate is lower, we need to higher it up by turn the adjuster counterclockwise until the water and the plate have the same height. Step 6. Install next floor like the first one, but at the third floor, when install the diagonal brace, the side head bar is down and use the U-jack instead of joint pins. Step 7. Turn on the U-jack, follow the direction of primary stringers and install the primary stringers. Step 8. Adjust the primary stringers rationally and loaded at the middle by adjuster. Higher up the top and the bottom U-jack so that they have the same height and the primary stringers just stand on them. Then hide back the other U-jacks to that height. Step 9. Install the secondary stringers perpendicular to the primary stringers so that the distance between two lines of secondary stringers is 1.2 meter. Step 10. Install floor panels perpendicular to secondary stringers and parallel to the primary stringers. Install 3 fasteners per floor panel like this. Use the hammer to adjust 2 panels. Put the tail of fastener into 2 heads of 2 panels and use the hammer hit 2 head of fastener so that 2 edge of 2 panels gets into the space of the head of fastener. When install floor panel between 2 lines of scaffoldings, we need to use the working platform. Just stand at the middle like this, not at the side, on top or bottom like this. Last part is dismantling. Just dismantle everything, follow this rule. The first thing installed will be the last thing dismantled. If we use the triangle PAL scaffolding, we have to pull up 8 scaffoldings, so we divide into 2 parallel lines. Each line has 4 scaffoldings and there are alternate scaffoldings at 2 lines or contrary-wise. Each one has 3, 4, and 3 check bases. The distance between 2 lines is 1.2 meter. Between 2 scaffoldings is 1.2 meter, and between 2 consecutive check bases in a cluster is 1.2 meter. After pull up the scaffoldings, we will install 4 primary stringers, 2 lines of secondary stringers like this. If they are not long enough, 3.6 meter, we can use 2 pieces to combine, and 4 panels. About installing. The installation of triangle PAL scaffolding is almost as same as rectangle PAL scaffolding. Step 1. Set the check base cluster. Follow the above diagram and use the horizontal brace to determine the 1.2 meter space and make sure the clusters are in line at the diagram. Step 2. Install horizontal braces. Step 3. Put down the primary stringers next to the check bases so that we ensure the check bases are in their line, and it will be easier to install the primary stringers after. Step 4. Install the first floor by install 3 triangle frames to check bases in each cluster so that the top plate of back frame is on the bar of front frame. Install the choke pins. Step 5. Use the nipple to make sure every check base has the same height. Step 6. Install next floors like the first one, but when install the third floor, use the U-check instead of joint pins. Step 7. Turn all the U-check, follow the direction of primary stringer, and install primary stringers. Step 8. Adjust the primary stringer rationally and lower down with the U-jack at the middle by adjust the higher up the top and the bottom U-jack so that they have the same height and the primary stringer just stand on them. Then hide back the other U-jack to that height. Step 9. Install the secondary stringers perpendicular to primary stringers so that the distance between 2 lines of secondary stringers is 1.2 meter. Step 10. Install floor panels perpendicular to secondary stringers and parallel to the primary stringer. Some notice: if not enough helmet for everyone, person on ground will be prioritized. Don't climb up the scaffolding until the joint pins or U-jack are installed. Just climb inside the scaffolding, don't climb outside.